So this morning, the scripture, if you were listening to the scripture, we just heard what's basically a ghost story. Has anybody ever heard a ghost story before? Or seen a movie that has ghosts in it? All right, so if I was going to ask you to describe a ghost, how would you describe them? Would you say that they glowed in the darkness? Would they have glowed at all? Yes or no? Could be. Not all ghost stories are the same, right? But you could see that maybe if there was a person that was glowing in the darkness, you might think that they were a ghost, right? How about if they were if their clothes were really, really brilliant white, so much so that you could hardly look at them? Would that make you think that maybe this is a ghost? Yeah, so this is what happened to Jesus. He's up on the mountain, and his friends are with him. He's only got 3 friends with him, and they're watching what's going on. And all of a sudden, Jesus is glowing. I mean, he's just so bright that they really can hardly see him. The next thing they know, 2 other guys show up and are with Jesus. They weren't there before, and remember, they're up on a mountain, so where did they come from? And then they recognize that who these 2 guys are. And if you were listening to the scripture, it said that they were Moses and Elijah. Now, these are some really, really dead dudes. Okay? I mean, they've been dead for a long, long time. Moses for thousands and thousands of years, and Elijah for at least 1,000 years. Okay, so a long time that these guys have been dead. And there were no pictures back then, right? There might have been some paintings, maybe, but probably didn't last that long. And so how would these 3 friends of Jesus, the disciples, how would they know that this is Moses and Elijah? And yet they did. They knew that. They didn't even question it. Oh yeah, there's Moses and Elijah. Okay, now I don't know about you, and this is not the type of ghost story that seems really scary right now, right? There's no hook hand, and there's no them chasing after you or anything. But this would freak me out, right? This would be really, really weird to encounter up on a mountain. All of a sudden, brilliant stuff. Three guys, 2 of them dead for thousands of years, right? This would be really, really incredible. And what's the first thing Jesus tells them to do? Shh, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody about this. What would you do? Not tell anybody? You'd beg? Good for you. Good for you. Would you tell anybody? No. Why? Because they wouldn't believe you in the first place? It's yeah, Jesus, that's fine. I'm not going to tell anybody because nobody's going to believe this anyway, right? Right. And yet, this is what we celebrate every year, the Sunday right before Lent starts. It's called Transfiguration Sunday. And the thing that happened to Jesus, we call that transfiguration. He was transfigured. You know, the close word to that is transformed, right? He was transformed into a glowing, brilliant. Actually, it was him in his divine nature, as if he were like God, right? And so that's what we celebrate, that he did that. And the reason that we celebrate it is not just because he did it, but because it showed the disciples that he was divine as well as human. And that's a really important piece for us to remember as we enter into the season of Lent, which we'll talk about next week when you come back. Let's pray before you go today. God, thank you for showing us who you are by being transfigured on the mountaintop. Thank you for showing us that we can count on you, not only for your humanness, but also for your divineness. Lord, help us to remember that as we enter into the season of Lent, that you are an amazing God, but you are here to be with us. In your name we pray. Amen. All right, thank you for today. We'll see you next time.